So we're going to be doing quite a few commands on the Kusto query language, and then the usage of the Kusto query language. You just have to see where exactly is Kusto query language used mainly. So we're going to go through the setup of the KQL, which is database querying language, Kusto query language. And first of all, we're going to look at the emails that you can. Well, how can you set up the Kusto query language? So you're going to need to type in this link on your browser, and you will be taken straight to this platform where we have our Azure Data Explorer. And then on the Azure Data Explorer, this is where we find so Azure Data Explorer will be like the platform where you discover valuable business insight and make data-driven decisions. So most of the Microsoft systems, they might be feeding information directly to the Azure Data Explorer. And then, so this is like more of like a fully managed high performance big data analytics tool, which is the Azure Data Explorer. For example, let's say you have systems within your network, like your routers, your devices, whatever you have within your network, and then those devices are communicating directly with the Azure Data Explorer, or they are sending the log messages to the Azure Data Explorer. So Azure Data Explorer can be a platform where we store this information within your Data Explorer, right? And then it's a high performance big data analysis platform. So it will allow you to easily analyze high volumes of data. So logs that are coming from different systems, right? So that's an Azure Data Explorer. So we're going to be here on Azure Data Explorer, but the main focus is on the Kusto query language, how to utilize Kusto query language, right? So I got a link that I will be pasting there that we can use. So I just wanted to first show you the Azure Data Explorer, which is the one that is all of this information, or the platform that stores all of this information on Microsoft systems. So I got another link that I'm going to be sharing so that we can use to follow when using the Kusto query language. I'm just waiting for the browser to open. All right, so as I was saying that we have the Kusto query language, so it's going to be like our language that we use to query this database. So once you type in this entire link, it will take you to the Microsoft sample database. So if you look at the link, it says clusters, help, database, and then the sample. So Microsoft has already provided us with a sample data that we can use to play around or use the Kusto query language. So we're going to be using this data. So when you type in this link, it will take you to this particular database or to this page where you are on Azure Data Explorer. As we said, that Azure Data Explorer, this is the platform where most of the information will be going to. And then Kusto query language is just like the language that we're using to query this database. So let's look at this part. You click on samples. That's the data that we're going to be utilizing is under samples, right? And then under samples, click on tables there. And then under tables, we have what I call the table called storm events. And then my focus now will be on storm events. So we have these now. You can see here the icon of a table. So that's the icon of a table. It shows you, okay, this is the table within this database. And then this table has columns. For example, like your Excel spreadsheets, you will have like the columns. So here, this is an icon of a column. So here is the table. Storm events is the name of the table. And then the start time is it's a column. And then we have an end time is another column. As you can see here, we have a column. So in databases, the language or the term that we're going to be using is, instead of calling it a column, we call it a field. And then that's another field there. And then this entire information in database language, we call it a record. In Excel, that's what you're going to be calling it, a row. Right. Okay, so as I was saying that the columns, the rows, we got all of this information within the database. And then now the other thing is, we said we have like the columns start time, end time, and then look at here right next to the start time. What we have the data type. So in the database structure or in the database, we usually store data type, similar data types in one platform. For example, on start time column there, we are only storing the date type. The reason why we're storing the data type only in that particular platform, only in that particular column, is because when we want to filter our data under the start tab, we can be able to easily filter that. Can you imagine now on start time there, on the storm events and the start time column, if I was storing date and storing integers on that one column, it will be difficult for me to filter my data by date because there's so many different data types in one column. So it will be difficult for me to filter by data. But so we've done data validation. Data validation is whereby we say in this specific column, we are only accepting dates. And then here are the dates that we accept. And then end time is date time, episode ID, we have integers. So that means on this episode ID, we are only taking the integers, only the numbers, right? And then the state is going to be the string. So these are different data types, as you can see going down. So we validate controlling what type of data type can be punched in one column. All right. And then there's this one down here, which says dynamic. So dynamic, this is the part whereby in some scenarios, you might find that you have a column whereby in that column, you are checking the what you call the strings, you are also taking the real, you're also taking, accepting the integers, you're accepting the date. So if it's dynamic, it means that I'm accepting any data type within this column. Maybe like this, it's a column whereby I want the users to explain more in detail, whatever they're explaining. Then we say, okay, they might add it, they might add a date, they might add integers, they might add strings in that. So the real data type is similar to a float, where you have like your 2.207, whatever, that's the point something, right? So those are the floats. So we have the real, the string. So these are different data types. So the point that I'm trying to bring across is that on these columns, we validate data. So we have validated, we said, okay, on this column, only the data can be punched in, and this only data can go in there. So in databases, you might have things like this, whereby we have to validate your columns, especially whereby a database is whereby the users feed information and it goes to a database. But on this one, we're collecting data from, it might be Microsoft, let's say it might be devices within your network, it might be softwares or systems within your network that you're collecting information from. So they will be feeding into right columns then. All right, enough of this. We can see what's happening on the side. As I said, that we are on storm events database, and then we're looking at the storm events table there. And then under storm events table, there are all of these columns. And then each column, it is a data type that is accepting or taking, as you can see. So now, how do we query information? How do we display this information? How do we view what's inside the database? So the term will be query. How do you query a database? So we need to look at the syntax or the commands that we can type in to pull information from a database. So with the language that we're using to pull information from a database, for now, is going to be the Kusto query language, right? So it's going to be the Kusto query language. So we have SQL, we have different other query languages, but the focus now will be just the basics of the Kusto query language. How do you query data from a database? And then, so Kusto query language is one of those powerful tools that we use to explore data, and then we can we can discover patterns, identify anomalies, and pick up outliers, and then also use it to create statistical modeling and more. So we can do a lot with Kusto query. So we can, as I said, that we can explore your data, discover patterns, identify anomalies, outliers, create statistical modeling, and more. So this query uses like a schema entity that are organized in a hierarchy similar. similar to SQL's database tables and columns. So now let's go through the commands now. For example, if I want to pull information from the storm events table, if I want to read what's inside in this, right? How do I go about that? I want to see what's inside this table, right? Right. So in KQL, Coastal Query Language is very case sensitive, right? And then also it has IntelliSense. You can see the minute I start typing storm events, it checks this side, says, okay, is this what you were looking for? Is this what you want to type, right? So yes, exactly, that's what I want to type. So instead of me typing this entire thing to the end, I can just click on what I have there, right? Storm events, and then let me press run. So that means now this command, what it does, it will pull all of the information inside the database. So if you are coming from the SQL language, so what you do if you want to read what's inside the table in SQL, what you do is you type in select, and then say star from, and then the name of the table, which is storm events. But in Coastal Query language, what we do is, let me just push this to the side, so we can easily see everything here. So storm events, you can see it shows me all of those tables that are. It shows me those it shows me all those columns. I have start time, there's a column end time, episode ID, so I can scroll to the side, then I'm able to see all of these columns within the database. So the other thing is, if you check here, it shows me how many rows, how many records, right? It says 59,066 records. And then that's the information. Those are the records. So that means the entire database, it is 59,066 records. So that's our database there. Oh, that's the Coastal Query language. We managed to pull information from this database. Okay. And you can see the other thing at the top there, it shows us help/samples. So it shows us, okay, which table or which database am I pulling information from? So sometimes if you type in storm events here and then you see that it's giving you any error messages, just check now which one is your source. So here at the top, it shows me, okay, the source or where I'm pulling my information is from this database. So if you have so many databases here already, just make sure that if it gives you any error message here, just make sure that you are on the help/samples, because the storm event is under this samples database. So if it picks up any database name here, it might not be able to retain the storm events information. All right. So there are storm events. That's number one command there that you can use if you want to pull information from a database, right? So let's look at another one, right? So we say now this query on its own, it allows you to query all data within the storm events table. So this on its own is the name of the table. Once I type in the name of the table within the database, it allows me to pull all of the information, all of the data within the database. Okay, let me run another one, right? So the next, usually the command or the element that people usually type next is the pipe. We call this the pipe, right? So instead of the / the backslash, I just use like that, the pipe, which is the straight line. So storm event, and then let's say now what I want is I want to say storm event, right? And then instead of receiving all of the 59,066 records from the database, I want to only pull, let's say only the 59,000. I want to pull only the 5. I want to take only 10. Let's say only 10, right? Instead of receiving all 59,066 records there. So what I will do is I'll just say check and then 10. So before I look at the next command there, the first one is storm events, which we said it pulls all the information from the database. So if I want to read the entire information from my database, I type in the name of not the database, from the table, I type in the name of the table, the storm events, which is the table that I'm focusing on now. And then the pipe now, it comes in as saying, okay, storm events is my first command. And it says, okay, whatever information that's coming from storm events, give it to this pipe here and send it to this, the output, send it to this pipe here. Once it gets to this pipe, and then the pipe says, okay, the next command is check 10. So storm events will pull everything And then if I put a pipe there, it says, okay, the output of storm events, it goes to the next line. And then the next line says, okay, check 10. So out of all the information that you gave me from storm events, I'm interested in 10 only. And then the check 10, it doesn't pull from, it doesn't follow a particular order. So it's not pulling 10, top 10. It's not pulling bottom 10. It's just like taking 10 out of the results or the output of the storm event. Okay, so let me run that. So you run the query. Once you've typed in your commands, you run the query. So as you can see now, I'm expecting to see at least 10 records. You can see there it says 10 records. If I scroll down, you can see I'm only seeing 10 records. Because the check 10 or the next command, it says, okay, I'm focusing on only 10 records. So if I try to run this again, you might see that, okay, it gives me different results. If it gives you same results, it just means that maybe your data is in a particular order. There's an order within your data. So if your data is not in order or is not following any order, like your lowest to biggest, something like that, it will keep on bringing in different data on this platform, the results. So tech 10, what I'm trying to say is the tech 10 is not pulling data in any specific order. It's just pulling 10 out of this output of storm events. All right, so the pipe, it allows us to pipe and say, okay, the output of the top command, pipe it to the next line. That's what it does then. And another thing that I want to highlight is that Kusto query is case sensitive. For example, the name of the table is storm events. What if now I change the name of this table to maybe small letter E there, but the word is still storm events? I just change it to small letter there, and then I press run. You can see it says error, check operator failed to resolve table or column expression named storm events. Says, okay, I got a problem here. I don't understand. I wasn't able to resolve this because I don't see it from my end. So I changed that to storm events. And then also the other thing is color coded. And then if there's any error before you even run it, you can see there will be like a squeaky red line to show you, okay, it's the Kusto doesn't understand the command or the command that you've typed in here, or this whatever syntax you have here, says, okay, I don't understand what you have there. All right, so that is like storm events, and then the other command, which is check 10. So let's look at the other ones now. So we said the check 10, we said this line, what it does is it allows you to query data within storm events and pull any 10 within the table in no particular order. We said no particular order, and then it is not consistent. If you keep running it, you might find, you might get different data, right? Okay, we've done that. And then the other command that most people run within the databases is the search. For instance, let's say now I'm looking for any record within this database that is a word cow. So I want to say any record within this database that is a word cow, return that. So I will do this. I'll type in search. Let's say you type let's say it's Home Affairs database. Maybe you type in the name of the person that you're looking for. Just say search. And then you type in the name of the person. Where's my search? Let me type. Am I typing there? Let me say search. And then on my database, I'm looking for any column, any record that is the word cow. And then instead of returning all the results, I will pipe that so that I can say check 10. So that I can only receive 10. So search, if it's a database, maybe that is a name, someone's name, but maybe let's say their name is Johnson or John. And then I want to check, I want to see the record of entity called John from my database. Then I say search and then inverted commas and then type in the name of the person and then it will return that. For now, I'm interested in any row or any record that is the word cow. And then after you find it, if there's more than 10, let's say it finds 100. Okay, let me, before I put check 10, let me check out check 10. And just say it without check 10. So you can see it gives me 14 records. And then if I put this and then say check 10, right? And then I run that, it says it returns only the 10 records that I'm looking for. So you can see if I open here, I'm assuming that let's say maybe it's what you call let me close that, and then maybe come to there's a column that is storm summary is dynamic. Maybe most of the information is there. Let me just do this. Let me see if I can find storm summary. Do you have storm summary? I just scrolled too much there. So you check here. So you find that, okay, inside all of these, there might be a word that says, there we go. You find here, if I check nicely, there might be a word cow there. Where is it? Repose, steam, and then cold front, widespread weather, outbreak, tornadoes. Let's say there must be a word cow. If it's not in the file, reports, large hail, tornadoes, storm summary. I don't want the cherry part. This one I'm interested. Okay, let me just do this so I can see all of the info that I'm looking for. Maybe just do this and then flash, March, Crawford, and then you can see there's cow there. So all of these lines, all of the records, they must have a word cow because my search is focusing on the word cow there. So if you go through all of these, but it only returns what you're looking for with the word cow. All right, so that's search, which is a popular command that may be used by most people within the Crystal Query language. All right, the other thing about the Crystal Query language, we can also say, for example, so this search, what it does is it searches the whole database here, the whole samples there, searches the whole table there, looking for the word cow, search cow, and then it says take 10, it searches that, and then it will be looking for that. Let me now type the name of the table, storm events. And then we say we got the storm events, and then on the storm events, I got a pipe. But now let's say at the bottom here, there are lots of things happening. You see, we have so many columns here. Underneath, we have so many columns. What if I'm only interested on a specific number of columns? Let's say I want to, my focus is on, let me just quickly pull this to the side. Let's say my focus is only on specific columns. For example, I want to pull all information, I want to run storm events, right? And then say, maybe say take 10, and then another pipe, and then let's say project. No, before I say project. Okay, one more thing before I move any further. Here at the top here, these lines, storm events or whatever command that you type in, you can type it in one line, in one straight line. You don't have to go to the next line. It can be on one line there, and then you run it to give you the same results there. It doesn't give you an error message. The reason why I'm pushing it down is for readability purposes. You can see once I push it down there, it becomes easy. It becomes readable. It's easy for me to read that. And then I put a part there. Storm events, take 10. And then the other thing that I'm looking for is, now the focus is, as I was saying, that instead of displaying all of these columns, let's say, what if now my focus is on the specific columns? As you can see that now, in order for me to see information here, I got to scroll all the way to the end. What if now my focus is on begin location column? I saw there's a begin location column. Let's say I want to display what is on begin location column, and then I want to display what's on storm summary column. And then I want to display storm summary column, begin location column, storm summary. So if there are specific columns that you want to look at, instead of displaying all of the columns like this, because it's not easy for me to read or to get what I'm looking for when it's like this. So I want to filter by columns. So I can, the word for that you can use is project. So project, and then you type in the name of the columns that you only want to see. For example, I'm interested in the begin location column. And then you separate these columns by a comma. And then the next column that I want is storm events. Or storm events. No, not storm events. I'm interested. Yes, I'm interested. No storm summary will do. Storm summary, and then dot details. Dot description. So my focus is on this. And then you'll notice that this is begin location is a column within the table storm events. Storm summary is a column within the table storm events. So I'm focusing on these two columns. And then here dot details. Details is a sub column of storm summary. And then this description is also a sub of what? Of storm summary. That's why I'm separating it via the full stop. That's why I'm separating by the full stop. So let me say run that. So we can see, okay, there's one error. There's an error. It says table operator failed to resolve table expression named description. What happened? I didn't type it correctly. Description. That's how you spell description. All right. And then you can see now what I have here is the begin location column and then the storm summary column. But if I push this one down, let me see. Why is it not showing me all of this? Okay, I need to see that. Yeah, that's what I want. So you can see now it is this here. All right, so you can see now I'm focusing only on how many columns? 2 columns, which is begin location and storm summary. So the focus is on begin location and storm summary. So you can use project to choose the number of columns or the specific columns that you want. Let me show you again. Let me show you again another one. Let me say now the interest is on, let's say the interest is on this. I want to see the specific column, start time. Why is it going there? Let's say start time, I'll put a comma so that I can bring in another column. And then I choose storm summary. Not storm summary, let me do a different column. Let's say enter, it must be enter on. Right? Remember, I said it's case sensitive. Say maybe I want to see event type, stage, comma, and then event. Okay, maybe this is fine. Let's just do that. So I just want to show that you can use project to project the columns that you want within this output here. So let me push this to the top and then push that to the side. All right, so you can see I can project. So we have looked at the storm events. We said the storm events, what it does is the name of the table. It pulls everything from the table storm events. And then Tech10 says, okay, the output that came was what? Storm events, sending everything from the table storm events. And then that output goes to the next line, which is Tech10. Tech10 says, okay, you gave me everything. I'm interested in only 10. Not from top 10, not from bottom 10, but only 10 items or only 10 records from what you've given me. And then now this line, the project says, okay, the results of Tech10, those results, we said, okay, now I'm filtering or I'm projecting, I'm saying, I'm interested in start time column, end time column, event type, and the state. Then it shows me those particular columns and then with 10 records. So that's what's happening here on this line. So the first line is for pulling all the data within the storm events table. The Tech10 is just like for saying, okay, my focus is only on 10. And then the project says, okay, we are interested in these particular columns. So that is what you can do with this. All right, so you can use that. Okay, what if now you are interested in the top, because we've been using Tech10, and we said Tech10 is not, we say Tech10 is not one of the, it doesn't pull from the top 10, it doesn't pull from the bottom 10, it's just Tech10. So if one top 10 or top 5, let's say top 5, then you can use the word top there. Let's say now we're interested on top 5. But if you say top 5 by what? Since we have so many columns within our database, we want to say top 10 by what? Let's say top 10 by start. Let's say top 10 by okay, this wondering why is it not completing this for me? I need to say by, then start time, and then you can choose descending. So top 5 by start time in descending order. So you can say if you leave it like this, I think it will pick up the ascending order, but if you specify, let's leave it without the descending option, and then try to run it. Okay, let me add one more information. Okay, no, it's fine. Run this. So what we're saying is now stop events is the name of the table, and then we're saying top. I'm interested in top 5 items, and then since we have so many columns here, we want to do a top 5 by which column? So I want to do a top 5 by the start time column, right? And then project say, okay, I want start time, end time, event time, stage. I can also add maybe, let's say, event narrative, which is a column. That's a column, and then I run this again. So you can see it just added one more column. So I have column start time, end time, event time, state, and then event narrative. So it pulls all of these from your database. So storm events, top 5 by start time, project start time, and then top 5 by, I can say top 5 by what? By maybe an event type, or top 5 by anything that I within the column that I can use to use as an order of the results, right? So there it is. You can use top 5. So just wanted to show you that instead of saying check 10, as we said that check 10, it doesn't pull data in a specific order. All right. So now you can see the first one is 2007, 12:31 there. Then the time is 23:53. And then let's change that to descending and see if it gives us any difference there. 23:53. You can see it's 23:53, right? So if we change that to ascending order, then you can see now it has changed the order there, right? It gives me different data there, right? So you can apply the ascending or descending order there. All right, so we have looked at the other commands, which is top 5, in case you want to say, okay, I'm interested in top 10, top 5. So I can change this to any number. I can do top 10. Then it returns the top 10 records. The other thing that I want to do, we have used the search option. So some people don't use search. What they do is, let's say now you are interested in returning a record that is the word large trees, a word that is large trees, a record that is the word large trees. So what I can do is I can say storm events so that I can be able to pull information from that table, and then I put a word close, then say where and it do storm summary, which is the column, and dot details, dot description, dot description, where storm summary, then here's. So here's now becomes that item or that clause that I use to pull data, which is the specific information that I want. So storm events, which is the entire table. My focus is where, my focus is storm summary column. Then I say, okay, where storm summary details description has large trees, right? Press enter. And then I say check. So I'm interested in records in my database or in my table storm events where storm summary details description is the word dash trees. And then I want to check 10. But let's see. You can see large trees. So that will be, if we do this, and then if we, instead of focusing on that, let's say, what am I focusing on? Not injuries. Oh, it gave me all of the information. I need to project because now I can't see what I'm looking for. So you can see, I can't really see. I need to project now. Last I need to project because I'm interested in only a few columns, the begin location, dot page begin. So begin location, and then I do storm summary, and then dot details dot description. And then let me say run that. So I can see begin location is there, and then the column I'm interested in storm summary. So I want to click here, and then you see there is the word large trees. So it's returning every column. It's returning storm summary column. That is the word large trees. Storm summary column. That is the word record from storm summary. That is the word large trees. So what if now we're searching for another word now? We can change maybe for back to cow. Let's see if we'll be able to get anything. So you can see if we click there, if we click that, law enforcement reported major flooding on the Cow Creek. You see there's a word cow. And then let's change that. And then we check another one. So there is bad additional rainfall. The what? There's Cow Creek, there's word cow there. So you can, instead of using search, you can also use this. So we once used, we did previously look at the search. We said search cow, and then we say tab, and you tab that. So here we're using the storm events, and then the condition is that where storm summary column has the word cow. So whatever you're returning from this column, which is storm summary, the focus is on storm summary. The word clause says, okay, since I have so many columns within my database, my focus is on storm summary. So we're focusing, what did I do now? Control C. My focus is on storm summary. And then I'm interested in the word cow, any record that is the word cow. And it does that. And then the project begin location says, okay, we're interested in these columns. All right, let's see another one that we can do. So this is your Gusto query language. Let's say now I want to summarize data by event type, right? Let's say I want to. Okay, another one. Now, another one. Let's do this. This is storm events. The other one that I can do is storm events, and then I do the way it flows, where event type. I do complete, and then I say event type is equals to, right? And then say flash flood. So now my focus is on the event type. So I'm saying, okay, storm events, it will pull everything that's on the storm events table. And then the pipe says, okay, whatever output push it to, I'm interested in where an event type is equals to flash, look that flash flood. Right, that's what I want to retain. Any event type that is the word flash flood. That's what I want. So it says, okay, I can't find anything, no rows. So let's say storm events where event type is flash flood. Oh, yeah, there is. We said this thing is case sensitive. So let me see. Let me change that to capital letter F. Let's see if it will be able to pull something. Let's see, it's case sensitive. So, but there's another way. If you don't want, if let's say you're not sure of the spelling of the word flash flood, okay, not the spelling, but how it's typed out. Is it the flash flood or the flood? Is it in capital letter F or small letter? I think you can use this squeaky thing. The not that. I think you can use this one here somewhere there. Let's see. Let me change that to a small f, and then see. And it's complaining. I'm not sure when it goes. Is it supposed to go in the beginning or after the equal sign? So let's see. Looks like it will give us an error. But I'm not sure where it's supposed to go to, but if you're not. Oh, all right. So this is where it goes to, right? So in case you're not sure if the word that you're searching is typed in capital letters or small letters, because this we said it is case sensitive, right? So in my scenario, I typed in flash flood before with this, the flood with a small letter and then returned nothing because it's case sensitive. As you can see here, event type flash flood, the F for flood is in capital letter. So if you're not sure, you can use this squeaky thing in there to pull what you're looking for. All right, so the other command that you can use, the comparison that you can use is, I think you can use this, which means not equals to, if I run. So it's supposed to retain any event type that is not flash flood. Okay, let's do this. We forgot to. So I think it will return all the records, or what is this complaining about? So you can see retained all the records, 10,066, because the flood is supposed to be in capital letter F there. I didn't correct that. Let me run that. So now what we're saying is storm events where the event type, which is the column, is this. It means that not equals to flash flood. So return all of the different event types that you have here, but don't include flash flood. As you can, sorry, don't include, yeah, the flash flood there. As you can see, so the comparison here, it says not equals to. So some they use exclamation mark and then equal sign, which means the same thing. It won't return anything that says flash flood. Let me run it again. As you can see, it does the same thing. So the same, those two comparisons, they are all doing the same thing. All right. The other thing that you might want to do is want to count. Let's say you want to count the specific number of event types. Let's say I want to find out how many flash floods do we have. Right. I want to find out how many flash floods do we have. Let me do this, press and enter there, and then the pipe. Then I say summarize. What I want to do is I want to see how many flash flood events do we have on the database, right? Let's say count for event count. Event count. Let's say count by. The other thing that you'll notice here is that I don't have a column by the name event count. So the reason why I'm adding the name I don't have the column called event count. If I check here, you'll notice that I don't have any column saved named event count. So the reason why I have the event count is that the results now of the counting, the results of count, I want them to go to this column. I want them to go to this part, the column that I'm creating, or to this part that I'm creating now. But they are not going to go straight to the database. It just will be an output for me to see, okay, how many event types do we have? How many event type called flash flood do we have? Called flash flood do we have in a state? So by state, right? By state. So let me run that. So let me read that again. Storm events is it retains the entire information in my data, in my storm events table. And then the way it says, okay, I'm interested in the event type, and then the event type, which is equals to flash flood. And then that summarize the flash flood events. And then you're counting them. Where are you counting them? You count them and then you put the results not in event count. So there's no column called event count. I'm just like the results, I want them to go to this. And then by what? By the state. The event types by the state. Let me run that. So there's one thing that is not happy about it. You say it's storm events. What's the problem? Table operator failed to resolve table special named event count. All right, I said summarize. Did I spell the spellings are correct? Stay where event type. Summarize. Event count question. Let's follow it. I don't seem to see any. All right, let me run it again. All right, there now. So this command, let's say I was wondering how many flash floods do we get per stage? How many flash floods do we get per stage? So this is what I'm doing here, answering that question. So Texas, you can see there's 1,199. So if I expand this, it shows me how many do we get there. So that's what it's doing there for me. It says event type. It's a flash flood. So all of these. So in Texas, we're getting 1,199 flash flood event types. And then Kansas, 256. All of those going down. Right? So I can add one more line there to say, let's say we're saying event type equals to flash flood, and then summarize event count by state. I can also say now where event count is greater than maybe 100. As you can see now, we have Texas is 1,199, and then here we have this, and then 72. We have Georgia, which is 25. Minnesota, which is 52. So now on this slide, I'm saying I summarize all of this. I'm interested on the event types which are greater than 100. So anything that is less than 100, I don't want it to be displayed down here. You can see there's 37, 17, 14, 8. So anything that's less than 100, I'm not interested in. So let's say we are focusing more on events that are more than 100 in each state, the flash flood. So you run that, and then it will return different results there for you. You got your Texas. So you go to Texas, which is 1,199, Kansas 256, 223. So anything that is less than 100 is not there on my list. So you can continue with the word close there until you get what you're looking for. Let's maybe change also to maybe event count is greater than 10. So I can see more. So you can see it gives me more. We change that back to 100. And then I can add more. Let's say, what if we want to sort by, I want them to be in a specific order. Let's say sort by event count, say in an ascending order. I want to sort these. As you can see now, there's 33, 38, 24, 37. I want to put it in a specific order, which is ascending order. And you can see they are on an ascending order. And then some people now, they might want to do more with this. You might want to plot this into a chart, because it might make more sense or more meaning, or might be clearer on a chart. So I can use render. Render is for plotting my data into any chart. I can do pie chart. I can do bar graph. So let's start with the pie. Let's start with the pie chart and let's say run that. And you can see now it comes in. So you get like your pie chart there. You can see. If I'm not yet with the pie chart, I can also change that to make bar pie chart. There it is, pie chart. So we have storm events where event type is equal to ++, summarize event count by state where event count is greater than 100. So you can go on and on and on and on with this until you fully understand the Kusto query. So I just wanted to show you the basic of Kusto query language. If you're coming from the SQL side of things, it would be easy to just like change a few things. For example, if you are from the SQL and then you want to maybe display information from the database, say select from that table, say select star from, say, storm events, and it displays everything from that particular table. But we are Kusto query, typing things different. All right, I hope this was informative. Hope you'll be able to use it for different courses, like your Microsoft, we have this course Microsoft SC 200 and then AC 900, which is for security, for security analyst. So they ask you lots of questions that has to do with Kusto query language. And then if you're not taking that exam, this comes in handy, like just understanding the basics of query languages. How does it query data from database? So like I said, I hope this was informative to see you in my next class.